I apologize for the silence because, anytime Olin Buchanan's around, a lot of words are being exchanged. Olin Buchanan inside the Charles Schwab studio. And we were talking about the upcoming NFL draft. And what we were talking about is how times have changed. Because back in the day, everybody went to the draft. It used to be New York. So it was like everybody went to New York. Everybody went to the NFL draft. Everybody was in attendance. And now, Olin, it seems like nobody goes to the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's not as, for the players, it's not as, I don't know why, but it's not like the must do thing. In 2000, I guess it would have been 14, I went to cover the draft up in New York, when Luke Jokel, Mike Evans, and Johnny Manziel were all taking the first round. And I went to cover that draft. It was a side story we don't have to get into, but it was one of the worst nights of my life. But I went in to cover that draft.
Is that when you got mugged on the subway?
No.
You saw Spider-Man go through the buildings
But no, my son was like 9 at the time, and Irma was still living in Nashville. So I was as close to being a single father, which I was never meant to be the responsible parent. It just wasn't supposed to be. And I gave a girl that I worked with who had been a tennis player at A&M. I gave her $100 to what I said. All I need, he can get his own food. I need you to be there so he's not by himself.
Got it.
And get him to school and back, and then just be there. He can put something in the microwave for dinner, And he calls me like at 10 o'clock, and he says, "Hey, just letting you know, she hadn't been here. She left around 6 o'clock, hadn't been back, and now I'm trying to write about Jake Matthews, and then while trying to figure out what's going on, fortunately, I got a hold of Robert Cessna's wife, and she went over to my house.
Great people,
and brought him to her house.
Aww.
And then their daughter was working at Rudy's, and
Cassie.
I'm having a senior moment today. The younger one, not Cassie, the younger one, and I don't know why I can't think of her name right. Kimmy.
Yeah.
And so she had watched him before, and so she says that after they watched the draft, and after the draft, she would drive him home to my house and stay with him. Well, when they got there at midnight, the person I'd hired came driving up with her boyfriend, who was an A&M football player.
Oh.
And now I've got to also let Irma know what this is going on. So she's like, now she actually handled it better than I thought. But and then when I get all this stuff figured out, I get it all done. I know he's safe and everything. Johnny gets picked. So now I've got to go I have a moment
from panic dad
to start relaxing,
journalism,
and now I got to get right back into it. But anyway, there were players. All the players would go, and that's just not the case anymore. I mean, sometimes some of the players wouldn't go. I was telling you that Joe Thomas of the Browns, he went deep sea fishing. He was like the third player taken, and they called him and said, "Thanks, glad to know." But it just doesn't seem like it's the thing to do anymore. I mean, there'll be some guys there, and maybe
there's always players in the red room, and they invite like 2 days worth now because the first 2 rounds are on TV, and they're all on, but it's okay for 2 rounds.
Maybe part of it is you don't want to be that guy that's sitting there, and that glamorous looking girlfriend is starting to look like she's
over
bored with you.
She's over you. You tell me you're going in the top 10, and we're at pick 21.
Or what if you said, you know what? I'll stay at home. Mom and Dad doesn't have to fly up there. No, I'm going to be with all my friends, all my family that I care about. We're going to have a party. We're going to get some barbecue or whatever, and we're going to just celebrate with the people that I know. And it seems to me that that's the better option, but that was just me. I'm sure there are some people that really want that opportunity to walk in the red carpet and show somebody interviewing you what clothes you're wearing. And then,
the interviews are so horrible.
Oh, they're horrible. So
I'm not going to call out the reporters that do them because they have to do them, and what they can ask is limited. But any interview with any person just drafted parents is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes somebody has a great story,
but it's not worth the other 2,000 that are not. It's not worth it to get to the one good one.
Because I've seen guys that do have a good story, and someone asks about them, and they're just not good interviews. They don't want to talk about it, and it gets uncomfortable. But anyway, you were asking me if what Aggies were going to be there in Pittsburgh, right? And I don't know.
That was the question I asked Olin. Which Aggies are going to be there?
To my knowledge, none of them are. Now that I could be completely ignorant, and maybe KC's going to be there, but once again, and to each his own, right? But I would think KC would be either here or in. I think he's from Charlotte with his mom and dad and cousins and maybe a teacher or two and teammates that he grew up with.
I told Olin my favorite thing is watching all the ex-girlfriends they're about to show on TV, because these players get drafted and they're about to upgrade their girlfriend life. So all these women that are there at those drafts are a lot of them are, unless it already has a ring on it, you're about to see a lot of former ex-girlfriends there.
Do you remember how Travis Hunter's girlfriend looked like she was angry that he was answering questions,
because it wasn't about her.
Because it wasn't about her, and he married her. Okay, I hope it works out. I hope it does well. I think they're still doing okay. I think.
I don't know, because I don't really follow the that side of the life, but I don't know if that's a story where they're already like prenup divorce thing. I don't know. I don't know.
For some reason, someone asked me about it. Maybe it was a couple of months ago, and I did a Google search, and it seemed at that time that they're still together. So, and I think they're either expecting or they have a kid. At least they were. That was like 2 months ago. So, hey, I don't wish anything bad on anybody. So I hope everything's great for him. But I just remember thinking, young man, you might want to rethink this one.
Yes, Travis Hunter is still married to Leanna Leaney, despite viral fake rumors and AI generated in late 2025 and early 26 alleging a divorce and cheating. The couple remains together. They tied the knot on May 24, 2025. Welcomed their first child, a son, in August 2025. There you go.
Okay, well, that's great. Good for them. I hope it's real, and I hope it lasts forever.
Their happiness is important to you. I know. But
I just don't wish anybody ill will. Well,
nobody
that
I know better than that.
Nobody that I don't know personally.
Right. Thank you. I know better than that.
There's a couple of people out there that if they fall on hard times, I might get a little bit of pleasure out of it. But that's because I'm a bad person.
It's you, not them.
That's right. It's me, not them.
Okay,
maybe a couple of old bosses.
Again, I know there's people that you. I know that statement was not true on your behalf there. If you have questions for Olin, text 979-693-1150. I'm here all the time, so maybe you should text Olin at 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. 979-693-1150. Olin.
Yeah.
Were you at the spring game?
Yes.
Did it change your life?
No.
Did you have a good time?
Not really.
Okay. What? Just three.
3 things.
Top 3 takeaways.
Well, the number one that the obvious one is that what a colossal price you pay for that spring game when you lose arguably your best defensive player, definitely your best linebacker, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. I'm no doctor. I don't want to speculate, but I saw the replay of the injury, and I thought, oh, that looks bad. So, but what do I know? Hopefully he'll be able to heal and be ready to go by the season, but I don't know. And then after that, I think the thing that stood out to me was that Isaiah Horton looks to be everything we heard he could be. He's making acrobatic catches despite being very well covered. And I guess, quite frankly, because spring football, right? I guess the third thing that I came away with thinking, you know what? Brady Hart looks like a pretty dang good backup quarterback to me. If anything, hopefully nothing ever happens to Marcel. He doesn't get a sore throat and has to come out for a while. But looks like, if for whatever reason, that Brady Hart looked like a nice option. So those are 3 things that stood out to me.
Hey, let me throw something at you.
Okay.
Because people have talked about the Damian Sanford injured. He can get injured in just a regular practice. I don't think putting the word game on it makes it a more special day and more potential to be injured. Do you? I mean, do you?
No, I actually wrote that because Reuben Owens.
People try and make a big deal out of it, and I'm like, hey, you can get practice walking out of the shower. You can get practice lifting weights in the lifting weights in the gym.
Yeah, if you're a baseball player. Reuben Owens, 2 years ago, got hurt and missed almost all the season, and he got hurt in practice. So I acknowledged that. I even said on the my first reaction is I just don't see that a spring game is worth the risk of injuries.
It would just be another practice otherwise, and you can get hurt in practice.
Unless you just did what they did at Ole Miss or something like that, where it's more of a skills competition and fan experience and things like that, which, look, Mike Elko and a lot of other coaches, not just Mike Elko, a lot of coaches see a value in the spring game. Okay. I'm not going to say there's not. It just strikes me as a high price to pay. But like you're saying, you can get injured just in practice, and you have to practice live. You have to. We can say, well, we just don't want to do things to get, you play cards.
Yes, I do.
And you've heard the term, scared money don't win.
Correct.
And so you can't go into a game or practice not doing things because you're afraid somebody will get hurt. You can say, we shouldn't be doing this, but then or you shouldn't be having all this contact, but then come next season when you haven't practiced in contact and you're getting lit up, then everybody's mad at them, right?
Football teams have cut down on practice during the week, hitting contact in the week so much. And I think a lot of them found out they were mistakes. And I'm not saying they hit 4 days anymore, but there were teams that were hitting like for 1 hour a week. It was getting so ridiculous. You have to make contact.
Yeah. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I get that. To me, if I got through 14 practices, and I'd probably be a losing coach. But if I was a coach, if I got to 14 practices and I'm pretty unscathed, I'm thinking, let's find something else to do. But that's just, I'm not saying
this is who Louis Bolin is.
And I'm not saying you're wrong.
I think the first 3 minutes of a game are as important as the last 3 minutes of the game. That's why I'm one of those people who doesn't believe in feeling things out. I'm one of those who believes, people focus on the last 5 minutes of a game when they criticize the game, but yet coaches get a free pass for the garbage they do in the first 10. So that's why to me that 15th practice and first practice are the same. It's just me. It's just me.
No, I get
just
it.
Me.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying Mike Elko's wrong. I'm saying from my perspective, and more coaches are coming around to not doing the spring games, but from my perspective, I just don't know. I do suspect, I can't say this for certain, and if someone says you're dead wrong, I'd say, you know what, you're probably right. But I do suspect there's just another level of effort when it's in a game-like situation.
Sure, a little more adrenaline. You're actually wearing a full uniform. There's a crowd, and that's good. I think Elko wants a lot of the younger players to experience that to some degree. That's part of what the spring game means.
And quite frankly, in the spring game, I will acknowledge this as well. The spring game probably does have more importance than it ever has, or say in the last couple of years, because of the transfer portals. You have more guys that just joined the team, within the last couple of months, and you still want to get more evaluation data points, and you want more cohesion. You got to develop all that. How are you going to develop cohesion if you're not practicing and going live? But I still think Olin Buchanan, the coach, would probably pass it up. But I'm not going to say that Mike Elko or Louis Bolin or anybody else is wrong when they say, no, I think you got to have it. Okay, yeah, you probably do.
I have a text message question that says, are you and Elko good? You can cut the tension with a knife when you ask questions, dude. Yeah, Elko and I are fine. I've never had any problem. To the best of my knowledge, he has no problem with me. So I could say, yeah, we're good.
I'll say this. I think we're good. I have no issue at all with Mike Elko. I'm glad he's the coach of my team.
Oh, you think he's talking to you?
Well, if he is.
Okay.
I'm glad Elko's the coach of my team. I admire what he's done. I thought that he should have been the number one choice all along. It never should have. That whole Mark Stoops thing never should have taken place.
I got witnesses that I said Elko first, by the way.
I understood if they were going to go after DeBoer at the time. They just played for the national championship and all that. So I understood it if that's the way you were going to go. I'm not saying I 100% would have 100% agreed, but I understood that. But when DeBoer went to Alabama, in my mind, there was no question that Elko was the guy. Now, I do think I sometimes ask questions that annoy coaches, not just Mike Elko. So I think sometimes I get under his skin without even meaning to. I'll give you an example. Now, at the close to the beginning, I can't tell you exactly when, of spring football, I reminded him, and you'll remember this, that last year at some point he said, I think we got 10 guys that could be NFL draft picks.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, do you have a feel?
Yeah, I remember this.
For how good your talent is, how good your roster is. And his thing said, well, I need to see him play more and all this. And I'm thinking, okay, but I'm just asking for a feel. And do you have some, a feeling about certain things? And then I'm thinking, well, you did bring. Did you not? I mean,
a year ago you had a feel.
Did you do all this scouting on the guys that you brought in? I mean, it's not like you brought them in sight unseen, 100%, right? So, but I mean, it wasn't an issue for us to, for me to come back with a follow-up question, try to, be one of those reporters. So, but I think that in his mind that was why you ask me this now. And one time after a game 2 years ago, I asked him, I'm trying to remember who the opponent was. It was one of those non-conference opponents. And
University, who remembers?
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, they won, but you expect them to, and it was like, eh. And I said, is there anything about this game that would concern you about the play of the team moving forward? And the next week they lost to Auburn. And he said, no, there's not. It's okay. It's a direct question. You gave me a direct answer. But afterwards, he said, well, you're looking for something negative.
I remember when he said that, okay.
And I don't
know if it was 2 years.
I just call it the way I see it.
I don't know if it was year one or year two when he addressed the whole media we won, guys. He told the whole media, we won, guys. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, why are you guys, he was why are you guys trying to chalk this up as a loss?
So I just brought those two things up saying, if he has any issue with me, it probably stems from a couple of questions like that. But
I hope that's not enough. He strikes me as much thicker skin than that.
To my knowledge,
is your picture on his dartboard?
No.
You sure?
Like I said, I'm glad he's my coach. I'm glad he's my coach of my team. But to my knowledge, he doesn't have. I introduced him last year at the Texags kickoff. So I had that.
Did he smile when you left the stage?
Yeah, I mean, I pointed out that there's only two coaches that had a winning percentage over the last 50 years or something like that. I might be exaggerating at Duke.
Did he ask you what you meant by that? I mean, there's little clues.
One of them was Steve Spurrier, and he had a higher winning percentage than Steve Spurrier. And I pointed that out. I said, well, we know what, Steve Spurrier won a national championship at Florida. And, I think there's every reason to be optimistic that Mike Elko can win one here. And he came up after, and said, hey, thank you, OB. And that was it. Listen, I'll put it this way. If the question was delivered at me, I kind of seem to bring out, I forget how he said it. Is there
you can cut the tension with a knife when you ask questions, dude.
I think I bring out tension in people. And part of it may be because, I just have a strange speech pattern. I talk slow and I got a weird accent and things like that. I don't know. I don't think we do, but if we do, it's probably my fault.
There you go. There you go. We'll be back. More with Olin. More of the Louis Bellina Show on a Tuesday. It is the Louis Bellina Show. Olin and I inside the Charles Schwab studio.
Visit zone1150.com and get the contact info for the zone. Podcast of your favorite shows, listen live, and college football, plus A&M athletic headlines.
Olin and I, the road goes on forever and the conversation never ends. The Louis Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. Again, Olin and I just, we're talking about like everything, telling old war stories. Back to the spring game. The one thing you didn't mention, and tell me if maybe I'm overvaluing it then, because I did kind of my top two, and I thought linebackers, and one was because of the injury, one was the pick six. So I thought linebackers were a storyline coming out. Another one, the kickers. They went 5 for 5, including one over 50 yards. Last year, and this was a stat, I wish I could remember where I saw it. Maybe, I do, I can't remember, but last year, A&M had the second worst field goal percentage of any P4 team.
Well, I know they were last in the SEC.
Yeah, and I think second worst of all P4s.
And we're talking about, against Texas and against Miami, I think they had kicks blocked that were inside of 30 yards.
So, again, I kicking is my number 2 storyline.
I probably should have had that on my.
Why don't you check with me before you write these stories?
Because I'm just going off the top of my head,
I can help you.
Because we've talked about that, David and I. That's. I already, we said it today. I'm already ready to say the kicking game is going to be vastly improved over last year.
Because it can't be worse. No matter what, that statement will be true to some degree. It cannot be false.
I never felt.
That's easy Vegas money.
No matter what the distance was, I never felt like you could take a field goal for granted.
Do you think it was mental as much as physical last year? Because I felt like there was
both.
Okay.
And sometimes it wasn't even on the kicker.
Bonds was mental. The other kicker was kicking so flat. That's physical.
True. Bond was kind of an enigma because he goes out in pressure situations against Notre Dame on the road, and he kicks 2 from about, 48? 2 big field goals. Huge, with as much pressure as you can find, and he makes that field goal, the extra point to win the game. And the
Notre Dame kicker didn't.
And then
his missed extra point cost them.
Well, that was on the holder.
Was it?
Remember, the holder dropped the ball, and then he picked it up, and he tried to roll left and throw it, and it was Tyler Buckner.
Did he drop it? You got to understand something. That's so long ago in my mind.
Snap. Well, and then they kept showing him like on TV, like every other shot would be Tyler Buckner on the sideline.
I'm sorry.
Looking for a hole to jump into.
They tortured that kid. That was so unnecessary. You're right. Okay. That was evil.
It was a tough break for the young man. Yes, I feel I'm going to feel so much better, I think, about field goal. Look, in my mind, if it's 41 or longer, there's a certain amount of rolling the dice. It's college kickers. But if you're inside 40, you should make them.
Every time.
You should make them.
Every time, like if automatic boring.
If the snap is good, and fortunately the Aggies, last year that was never really an issue. They had a good long snapper. So if the snap is good and the hold is good, then they should be making most, inside of 40, it should be as close to automatic as you can get. And David Olano, the kid from Illinois, hit one from 39 and one from 33. And then the kid from Louisville,
the freshman
from Louisiana, from Shreveport, Asher Murray. I think one from 29 and one was from 27 and 53, and it still had more distance.
Again, to me, the kicking was the number 2 storyline.
I felt really good about it.
Yeah, it just 5 for 5. Just start with the 5 for 5 part, and then you mix in the 50-yard. They made the automaticas, check. 1 from 50 plus, check. 5 for 5, almost cried. It was beautiful.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was I should have looked at that and put it, file it under the things of what would give me some optimism or pessimism for the actual season.
Yeah, things that are real.
And say, that's high on the list. Because as good as I think Brady Hart looked, I hope he doesn't play it down. Or if he does, I hope it's because the Aggies are up by 28 in the fourth quarter.
You have trouble when you split your lines of scrimmage, right?
You do, often. You talk about when you're juggling your offensive line
and
defensive
both.
line.
It doesn't matter. Just your lines of scrimmages are scrambled. And this year, when you have no returning O-line and you're splitting lines of scrimmage, it makes it really hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know what you're seeing, right? So, and then there's I thought that Jamarian Morrow looked really good as a running back. He had second play of the game. He had like a 23-yard run. He had a 19-yard run. He had a 14-yard run. You think, man, this kid, he's running with more power than he ran last year. And I'm thinking, that looks really good. I'm really impressed. But then but does that mean that they've made no progress on that run defense that tends to give up big plays?
How do we know? You have split D-line. You have split linebacker. I mean, there's a million reasons why. We have a text message from the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. It's from Anonymous who says, "Hey, Louie, won't y'all hire Olin Buchanan and get rid of that damn Paul guy?" And Paul Feinbaum is what he's saying. You take over a show. And I went, "We tried, but A, he said pay." And I went, what does that mean? So that was really a sticking point in the negotiations. And B, Olin already is on the air, 8 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. You can get your daily dose of Olin. It's called the Go Hour, part of Texags Live, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So you get your daily dose of Olin. You read them all the time, texags.com. So
I'll tell you this. One thing I can do is talk.
It's true.
So if you want me to talk more, hey, I'll be just, look, I'm not a prima donna. Just
wait.
Time. Just pay me.
You can't start with a premise that might be flawed.
Just pay me whatever Feinbaum gets, and I'll take that.
That's all.
You know,
you're just walking right past that.
I told you about the time that I got fired from another radio station here in town.
Okay, remind me.
Okay, so it's 93, and Chip Howard had just left.
I'm going to say something funny. You've been fired so many times, I can't keep track.
And Chip Howard had just left.
Okay.
And so they, this radio station, they called me up and said, "Hey, Chip left. Would you be interested in coming in and doing, well, first of all, I have no radio experience in being a host and having to, to get
read
that,
scripts,
get all that stuff. I'm not even talking about the scripts. I'm talking about they wanted me to get the news.
Yeah.
And go through that. And I'd never done it. So, but I remember talking to them and they said, "Well, we paid so-and-so Chip this, but," and I said, "Okay, I'll take that." And so I was their sports guy for 1 week.
Wait, only
1 week.
What happened?
Well, on Friday, I was terrible, first of all, and then on Friday, and they got my check, so I got the whatever I think, and they probably lied to me what Chip was getting, but I got the check, and that was fine because hey, extra money, right? And then they said, I don't know if you'll remember this guy. He was a local TV reporter on KBT, John Oakey.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, well, we're going to have to let you go because John Oakey's going to take. I said, okay. And they looked like they were really like dreading my response. And I said, oh, yeah, I get that. I would have hired him. Why didn't you hire him before? They said, well, we didn't know he was available. I said, well, that's a good hire. And I just walked out and took my check and cashed it. And
so you're 1 week of your life as the sports director, sports guy.
And then I got fired in 1 week.
Wow.
1 whole week.
I will say something.
But you know what? You don't want to be the guy that follows Chip Howard.
Never follow a legend.
That's right. That's what
you don't follow. You don't follow Nick Saban. You don't follow Chip Howard.
Yeah, I'm like, oh gosh, what was the guy's name? I'm having senior moments today.
You are
Perkins.
Did
Ray
you eat
Perkins.
breakfast?
Ray Perkins.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know who Ray
Bear
Perkins
Bryant.
is? How about Phil Bingston? Do you know who Phil Bingston is?
No.
He's the coach that followed Vince Lombardi for the Packers.
Oh.
So I'm the Phil Bingston of College Station Radio.
I will say something to what you did. It is in the radio industry. The sports directors, the ones that you said, they rip the wire, find the stories, rewrite the stories, put together scripts, and they do the sports cast and stuff like you hear in the mornings here on the Zone. Reading is not as simple as people think. I give kudos to them. To make it sound like they're just casually sharing this stuff with you, it's actually a lot harder than people think.
What I should have done is I should have got some music behind me and came up with an alter ego. He says, all of you got it.
DJ OB with all the sports you need
like
on
that.
the 5.
Not like that.
Last night, Aggie Baseball, grooving, chilling at Bluebell Olson. Serve me scoops of the W's.
Yeah, something like that. But I was terrible.
Sorry.
I really was. And on top of that, and
Sorry for the damage.
You'll appreciate this, but I had to be on the air at like 6, which means I had to be out there at 5, which means, oh, by the way, I'm working at the Eagle, and sometimes I have night games.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not getting home till 2, 3.
Right. So
and then you're back there at 5.
Well, I never got back to 2 or 3, but in that week. But
yeah, I was going to say your vast experience.
There was a couple of nights, and then, so anyway, I appreciated the opportunity. I was terrible. They were right to fire me.
We'll come back. Olin's Life, Part 10 on the Louis Molina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, community. CC Electric. It's the Louis Molina Show, Tuesday on The Zone.
This is Aggieland's only all-sports station, The Zone. 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
On this day, April 21st, 10 years ago, 2016 was the year. On this day, 10 years ago in 2016, Prince passed away from an accidental overdose of fentanyl. He was 57 years old. This day, 10 years ago, 2016, Prince passed away from an accidental overdose of fentanyl. He was 57 years old. You owned one of the Prince albums.
Yeah, 1999. Sure did.
Pretty awesome. The second album I ever owned was Prince Purple Rain, and I've been a Prince fan my entire life. I've owned more than one. I think I've had at least one whole shelf on my wall was all Prince. I love guitar. I like funk and soul. I've always loved Prince.
Well, I know you're going to have, or I suspect you're going to have Cedric Golden on later in the week, and there's never been a greater Prince fan than Cedric Golden. You'll have to ask him about that.
Every year when we talk about Super Bowl halftimes, right? And Prince Super Bowl is 1 or 2 all time for both of us. You can hear his Prince in his voice talking about the Prince Super Bowl halftime. If it pops up but oh man. So I'm not surprised by that statement.
Yeah.
At all. Aggie Baseball sweeps LSU and things got real because they had been moving, obviously. Since the doubleheader Friday against Vanderbilt, something clicked for this team and they haven't looked back. But I use RPI, and now they're 8. That's super regional hosting. They got 4 series left, 5, 6, 9, and 17, I think. RPI. Yeah. I know they are, but they're now in position with 1 month left in their season, SEC play. You couldn't ask for more. This is the dream. And they're 8. They're controlling their super regional hosting destiny.
If they, look, I'll say this, and it probably doesn't even take this, but if they win all those series, or I'll even say if they win 3 or 4.
Thank you. That's what I came down to
yesterday. If they win 3 or 4, they're going to host.
Yeah. It's that simple.
I think so.
What else could you have hope for at this point in the season? Talk about taking care of business.
Well, I wish
it got real.
I wish they would have won more game up in Norman, because I think they gave one away. Georgia, I wasn't there, but to hear Richard and Ryan talk about it, one of those games was closer than it looked. I think Georgia had one home run that on a normal day would have been a pop-up, and it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. The point, I'd like to have a couple more wins. I'd like to have been able to play Texas that third game and win that one too. But when you start off 2-4, and a month or so later, you're in second place by yourself in the race. And what are they?
Half game back? They're half game back at first.
Is
now?
it a half game or is it a game and a half?
I think with the sweep they went to half because they started a game and a half back and made up a game.
Okay, so but you're in that position. I think you can consider yourself fortunate, even though I don't think maybe you had good fortune in the first Texas game. Didn't they have a bunch of walks? But you got to be disciplined enough not to swing the bat, right? So when I say they've had good fortune, but I think they've created their good fortune. I don't think they ever got lucky.
No. They weren't gifted. My brain is cramped. I think there was one game this year where maybe the assist from the other team. I think it was one game, but no. Look, plate discipline is never getting lucky. That doesn't work that way. And that first game against Texas was a fascinating game because they didn't hit 4 bombs in the game. They just steadily bled them to death, inning after inning, pitcher after pitcher. They just kept putting runs on the board.
Kind of like the way Schlossnagle likes to play. So they kind of won it in a Schlossnagle-like fashion.
Relentless.
The first game, and then the second one, they just went and bashed their brains in. And I've got to be honest, I preferred the second one.
When a game is over in the first inning, because, okay, I understand A&M's pitching staff and how we felt about him at the time. Even putting up 8 in the first, it wasn't necessarily over. But when you put up 8 in the first, you get to spend the rest of the game enjoying the beer taste colder, the pizza taste cheesier and saucier. Like, you get to spend the next 8 innings heckling and enjoying life.
And I know
that is a great way to enjoy Aggie baseball.
Yeah, and I know you saw the stat that A&M is like undefeated when they score or when the pitching staff allows 6 runs or less. I think that's what it was.
Actually,
or something
I'll admit it. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so
I believe it. I don't know how you wouldn't.
In their losses, the other team scored like 8, 9 runs or 7, at least 7 runs, right? So when the pitching staff has held them to, I think it's 6 runs or less, they're undefeated. And that makes you think, well, hey, what do you know? It looks like the pitching staff's suddenly starting to come along. I'm not saying they're dominant and overbearing, but they're doing well. Aiden Sims, Shane Sadeo, Moss, they've been getting good starting pitching, and then they've been getting effective relief pitching. If that is a sign of that they've actually, not in a hot streak, but they've actually turned a corner, and this is what we can expect for the rest of the season, and I'm not saying it is, I'm saying if it is, then there's no limit to what this team can accomplish because they hit so well.
If the pitching staff can be average to good, because good is above average, so average to good, they have the offense to go to Omaha. But the pitching staff at one point was horrible and atrocious. They were losing games on Friday nights when they were scoring 7 and 8 runs. They lost a Sunday game when they scored 10. That's a regional team that can bash their way to a super and get eliminated.
Yeah,
that's the difference with the pitching staff.
And yeah, that's my point. Now,
and they were a 1 pitcher in the bullpen guy you could count on. Right. Now there appears to be 2.
3 even.
Who's the third? Because, Lions.
Ethan Darden.
Okay.
Came in and pitched really well against LSU. And the last time, I think, before that, he pitched well. So Ethan Darden, Lions, Fresh Corn.
Okay.
And even that other guy, Grant. I don't follow it as close.
Grant Cunningham.
Yeah, he's done well.
He's done well. I don't know if he's consistent enough to put. It's a high standard. I just want guaranteed. But you're right.
So
I know you're going to throw him out there.
And the starting pitching's been better. So
yeah, trending completely in the right direction.
So, but sometimes you get hot, and then you go back to where you were. I'm just saying, if they've truly turned a corner, and this is who they are the rest of the year,
they're an Omaha team.
Great opportunity to do that, because when you got a guy like Jorian Wilson batting 7th in your order, and then Bear Harrison, who's got a plus 500 on base percentage, after that, those are the guys, you're 7 and 8 hitters, and the guys that are mashing at the top of the order.
I kind of chuckled like Bear Harrison. So Friday, I think LSU walked him 3 times. So they pitched to him Saturday, and he goes yard.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's the saying. I'm offense. I felt like a microcosm.
See, hopefully the pitching is kind of like Bear. He got off, as far as a hitter, to a really tough start. I think he was under 200 for quite a while.
But his OBP was over 50.
Yeah, but now the batting average has been climbing, and he's up to around 250. But he's pitched really well.
He's
hit
a break,
really well.
But I'll leave you one more text message
from
Tony Montoya that said Cedric is epic.
He is.
He is. Simply
Good
put,
friend.
right?
Known him for 40 years.
Dude, what do you got this week?
Draft stuff. More draft stuff.
That's fun stuff. But I'm a draft junkie.
Trying to prepare for that draft.
I love draft. I love the stories.
Want to have a story written on every A&M player that could possibly get drafted. So if they do get drafted, we're ready.
I see the draft as the completion of their college careers.
I kinda see
That's
that.
why I love it so much. Be awesome, brother.
All right, we'll see you.
When we return, Community Spotlight, United Way of the Brazos Valley. That's what's next on the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Built on faith, family, community. CC Electric.
He talks sports, but also Taylor Swift, fly fishing, and Willie Nelson.
Oh, I ain't going down on Brokeback Mountain.
Don't miss Chip Howard's Sports Talk, evenings 4 to 6.
All right, let's go.
Here on The Zone.
The Louis Bellina Show on a Tuesday. And, Tuesdays, it's the Community Spotlight. I visit with some of my friends, these various nonprofits from around Bryan College Station, the Brazos Valley. We hear the mission, what they have going on, and how we can get involved. And maybe it's the help you're looking for. This Tuesday, we visit with the United Way of the Brazos Valley. Maggie Gray joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Maggie, how's your world?
Louie, what's up? Everything is good. How are you?
I am fantastico. I love the Community Spotlight because the various, Aggieland Humane Society, Twin City Mission, Brazos Valley Food Bank, United Way of the Brazos Valley. I love hearing what y'all are up to. All of you are always, what's next? Let's go. Let's jump on board.
That's
Let's get things
right.
going. And I love the hustle. I love the passion. I always just love hear the mission. And with the United Way of the Brazos Valley, what do you guys have coming up next?
We have coming up next a couple of things, actually. We've got a full menu, I'm not going to lie. But coming up this Thursday, we have Double Dave's Profit Share Day. That is all day long. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery from open to close. It is your day to order some pizza for your office, for your loved ones. Don't cook, whether it's in the College Station or Bryan location. And then on that night, on Thursday night, from 5:30 to 8:30, we will be at the Boonville location with a celebration and a dessert truck out there and just having a good time and ordering pizza. So come and enjoy pizza on Thursday, the 23rd, all day with Double Dave's Profit Share. We also have coming up this Sunday, ladies bruncheon at Joe's Place, benefiting the United Way. Louis, if people have not heard about this ladies bruncheon out there at Joe's Place, they are missing out. It's from 11 to 2, and the place fills up by 9:30. They have, standing room only. It's with DJ Rob. It is a profit share, and it's just fun. It's not just for women. It's a ladies bruncheon, but there are some men that go out there and have a good time. And it's a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to it. And last but not least, coming up, May 2nd, Mario Craver Football Camp. It is on Saturday, May the 2nd. We're looking forward to having time with Mario. If you have not registered, it's your time to get out there and get it going because spaces are limited.
That Mario Craver Camp is at the Bryan High Viking Stadium, Merrill Green Stadium. It's on May 2nd, is that right?
That is correct. It's on May 2nd at the Bryan High Stadium. It's for ages 6 to 17. It's a time for them to meet Mario and his team or his group of people. They're going to build skills, IQ, football IQ, boost your confidence, and learn teamwork and leadership. So that is May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bryan High Stadium. And if you want to register, you can go to the United Way website at uwbv.org. and get registered and sign your child up, 6 to 17 years of age. But spaces are limited. There's only a few days left to do so please get registered.
uwbv.org, uwbv.org. If you want to get more on the Mario Craver, the ladies on Sunday, and the Double Dave's Profit Share on Thursday, and anything else the United Way of the Brazos Valley is up to. If you want to find out more information about maybe the United Way of the Brazos Valley can help me. If you'd like to volunteer, donate. Volunteers are always welcome. The time of the year is not relevant. Volunteerism is one of those things that help the nonprofit world work. You can go to uwbv.org, uwbv.org. And real quick, if you don't mind, Maggie, one of the things I feel like sometimes I forget to ask, and we forget to, why don't you tell people what the United Way of the Brazos Valley does?
I know it's kind of confusing, but it's not confusing. Basically, we have several different programs underneath us, but one of our main ones is that we actually help other nonprofits fundraise. We take the fundraising burden off of them, of our 18 nonprofits that we help over the next 2 years. But we also have an early literacy program where we give books away to children, and our 211, the number to call when you don't know who to call, you call 211, and you will be connected to a person who has a plethora of information for you. All sorts of resources, anywhere from where can I vote? Where can I get help with rent? How can I see a counselor? They will answer it for you.
211. Everyone remember that. If you don't know how to get help or where to get help, 211. United Way running the 211 info line. If you just need help, you can try 211 literacy for kids, getting the books out there, United Way. And one of those things too, if you take that fundraising time and restraint away from the other nonprofits, they can just get to their mission.
Yes, absolutely, because that's our goal, is to be able to better the lives of everyone in the Brazos Valley, and we do so just whether it's advocating, volunteerism, just like you said, or through your donations.
Maggie, thank you so much. Best of luck. I love these profit shares like Double Days. All people have to do is go live their life. Go eat some rolls. Go treat the family, eat dinner, eat lunch, right? And they get to help the United Way and you're in the charities, the nonprofits you're partnered with. Man, that sounds so tough, right?
No, I'm telling you what, it's so tough, right? Don't have to cook. We hope to see you out there, Louie. Come see us at the Boonville location on Celebration on Thursday night from 5:30 to 8:30.
Be awesome. Thank you always. Good luck with everything.
You're
Peace.
welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Maggie May with the United Way of the Brazos Valley. I got to go. I'm back tomorrow at 11. Peace, everybody. Be awesome.